Welcome to Impact by DIFFA Dallas, the official podcast of the Dallas chapter of the Design Industries Foundation Fighting AIDS. We'll share valuable info about the fight against HIV and AIDS, what our organization is doing to assist those in our community, and most importantly, how you can help us make a real impact.
Welcome to another episode of Impact from DIFFA Dallas. I am a board member, Al James, and I'm very excited to have three guests with me today. As you can tell, we're in a festive mood. We have our annual event, the Holiday Wreath Collection, right around the corner. And I'm thrilled to be joined by Teresa Graw, who actually came up with the event.
So, yes, long time ago. I'm very happy to be here.
We will get into that. Let me introduce our other guest. We have Dr. Zachary Rip, who is our chair for this year's event. Welcome, Zach.
What's up, guys?
And also we have Megan Camp, who's also a board member, and she has chaired the Holiday Wreath Collection for the past 2 years. Welcome, Megan.
Hi.
So I think this year's the 24th anniversary. Teresa, can you believe what you started and that it's still going strong?
No, it started out as a little tenant Christmas party for the tenants of the Design District in what used to be 1400 Turtle Creek, the building, which we all officed out of, the developer for the Design District office there and DIFFA office there. And we used to have all these tenants. And one year we decided we needed to have an event, kind of a Christmas party. And we decided that it needed to be a wreath party and asked the tenants to design wreaths.
And then y'all just sold them amongst yourselves and gave the proceeds to DIFFA, which was great.
Yes, we used the individual spaces, the showrooms, whatever was empty at the time, and asked the tenants to design wreaths. And the very first year, it was in a sample showroom space that we had lots of leftover furniture from tenants that had either moved on or that we had kind of taken on through over the years. And it was a sample space, and we had empty, undone walls, and we hung the wreaths on it, and we had our Christmas party there and invited the tenants.
And it was so successful that we decided to turn it into an actual fundraising event for DIFFA.
Yes, after that first year,
strong.
And we gave the proceeds to DIFFA, we turned around and decided that it would become a DIFFA event. And it kind of played off of collection with the jean jackets, and it was just a more little festive idea.
Yeah, because in the early days, we actually provided designers with wreaths that were either grapevine or the green ones that were donated by Michaels. So, like you said, we were really playing off the denim jackets.
We provided them with the canvas, and then they brought it back to us, and we tagged them and put them together, or we combined them, just like you do with collection, with other items that made for maybe a bigger sale, which would make bigger proceeds for DIFFA.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for a number of years, 24 to be exact.
Yes.
What's one of your favorite memories, or do you have a favorite
Well, I have a
wreath that you
bunch.
remember?
I have a bunch of favorite memories, but one of the funnest was we had an empty showroom one year, and one of my dear friends, who's no longer with us, Alden Clanahan, he put together the idea that we would paint frames on the walls of this empty showroom. And so we came out and it was at the last minute because nothing was ever done, on time.
Exactly the same now.
We plan very well, but at the last minute, we're always putting things together. And so we all came together with paint buckets and a brilliant idea from Alden, and we painted picture frames on the walls, and then we put the wreaths inside these picture frames. Mm-hmm. And that was probably one of my best memories because I did it so closely with Alden. And then another one that was really memorable is in the last few years that we were at 1400, we had a project called the Idea House. And it was 2 homes built inside 1400 Turtle Creek. And Joe Ruggiero, who was a HGTV host, was kind of our sponsor of it. And we had all of the tenants from the Design District provide materials for these homes. So it was a real home inside a building. And those 2 years that we had this Idea home, we actually got to use for wreath. And so these wreaths were inside these homes. So that was really special.
It was special. You really just felt like you were in a home that was, decorated to the hilt for the holidays. And, we sold all the decorations. So that was
Really fun.
Couple of fun memories for me. Fast forward to about 2008, maybe 2009. We had Monica Peterson with HGTV attend our event. And that was me as an employee at the time, really just cold calling on a bunch of, HGTV celebrities to see who we could get. And I had no idea, but Monica had lost her sister to AIDS. So that, she responded immediately, and she's actually come to House of DIFFA a couple of times. So that was a special one for me. And then as far as wreaths, I remember Steve Kimball did a wreath one year out of dog toys. And I think D-Home magazine was like a media sponsor, and they were pictured in there. Somebody flying on an airplane, passing through, DFW airport, got the D magazine, and, flew home to New York, fell in love with that wreath, called the office and said, I want that wreath no matter the cost to get it. Long story short, she ended up paying $4,500 to get that wreath. So that was a special memory for me.
I still have wreaths that are in my Christmas extravaganza at the house that are DIFFA wreaths from as way back as the very first one. And they're memorable. They're things that I will pass on to my kids. And Christopher Radko was a guest at one of our events. And that was when he was hot. And we had beautiful ornaments that he gave and he signed. And we had some special times at this event.
For sure. Well, let's bring Zach and Megan into the conversation. Megan, you've chaired the event for the past 2 years. What has Holiday Wreath meant for you?
Well, I had a funny relationship getting into Wreath. I was at retreat, my first year on the board, and they hadn't elected a chair yet. And so I was cheerfully voluntold that I was going to get to do Wreath with my good friend Karina Chisholm, who was also brand new to the board. And we had never been before. So it was this chance to kind of take all the collective knowledge of the board members to date, which of course we have some that have been on the board several cycles and some that were brand new just like us, and talk about kind of if we could jazz it up a little bit, how are we going to introduce it to new audiences? Because a big push we're doing right now with the board is making sure that every generation we can touch right now can have a chance to participate in DIFFA and take a piece home with DIFFA. And since Wreath is one of our least expensive tickets, we have a chance to reach a lot more people, especially young people, and we work with our young professionals and things like that to get them involved in DIFFA at this time of year. So Karina and I just kind of went, okay, let's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. So we got a really amazing swing band to do vintage Christmas music. We went all out. We had an amazing partnership that year with Republic National Distribution, and this was my first favorite memory, was they did all the bars, which was wonderful, but they went above and beyond. And at 6:15 the night of Wreath, a man arrives with a massive Wreath ice sculpture. And he was like, oh yeah, Melanie, who was our rep, we were working with Melanie Hammer, who's amazing, said, I called her and she was like, oh, I didn't know if he was going to come through, but yeah, just tell him to put it anywhere. And I was like, it's an ice sculpture. I mean, this thing was
anywhere.
Massive.
How about a bathtub?
Yeah, I mean, the guys from Dallas Light and Sound who were just sticking Band-Aids on everything that was falling apart at that point, as it does in the last hour before a great event starts. Yes. They went, all right, let's light that thing up. And so we had an ice sculpture, and then we also had one of the liquor brands also had a tequila luge. It just kind of turned into this hilarious. We had all these ice activations throughout the event, and and then we had the Ice Princess that year. We had one of the Miss Texas pageant girls wore this Frozen inspired dress, and she was the greeter. So it ended up being sort of this theme under theme of the event. But Karina and I had such a good time, and it was our first chance to meet some of the people who are so dedicated to DIFFA and come to every event or contribute to every event. Like, so you mentioned Steve Kimball. That was the first time I met Steve Kimball. My mom lit up when she met Steve. She was like, I've been reading your stuff forever. So there were so many great moments that first year. And it was, we had my favorite wreaths that year. Alan Knight did one of his sculptures. Brian Chaffin, I think both of them were participating in this year's wreath as well. And then we got an email from Todd Oldham's person in Dallas and said, well, we can't do a wreath, but he's going to send you a box of some things for the silent auction. And it ended up being like 150 children's toys. And so we had to build this installation at the last minute of all of his children's line that was just coming out. And so that boosted, of course, the silent auction, but it was such a great visual of all these beautiful children's toys throughout the silent auction. So that was the first year, and I just loved it. And then last year we went French, and we just went to town, and we had the base of the Eiffel Tower as the entryway into FIG, and it was a really neat twist on just thinking of a Christmas market, of the European Christmas markets. And so every year we really give it a little bit of a facelift, but the core of what you created is always right there in the middle.
Just sitting here listening to you talk about it, it's come so far. You know, I try to come every year and see the evolution. I don't make it every year, but it means so much that it has touched so many people, and it has transcended what was originally just a tenant Christmas party.
Yeah, it really has.
Well, speaking of creative themes, and Zach is this year's chair. Zach, why don't you tell us about the theme you came up with this year, which I think is a lot of fun.
So that would explain the shirt as well. So our theme this year is actually naughty and nice, why decide?
Love it.
So, I wanted to take, like last year's Christmas in Paris was just so classy and so elevated. And I was like, I want to bring, no, I'm not going to take it down. We're just taking a different energy because she did it so well. We're like, we're going a completely different route. So we're really going with sexy, fun Christmas. And I just want it to be, why decide? My other tagline is not your mother's Christmas party, but please bring your mother. So,
well, a few years ago, you guys had the most handsome man in a bathtub with bubbles all over him. Please tell me he's going to be back.
We have
a ticket, please.
We have a roster of models, so I'm very excited. Right now, we're doing some costume planning and some outfit planning, and some will have more fabrics than others, so that's okay. It's pure in the DIFFA spirit, so I think it's really good.
Since you mentioned models, I just want to give a shout out to Campbell Wagner Agency, who's providing our models.
Yes. So the other thing is, last couple of years we had it at FIG, and it was a really great space, but wanted to trade it up. So we partnered with the World Trade Center and the Trade Mart, and so it's going to be a completely new space this year. So I think it was there about 10 years ago. And they've been so helpful about trying to get everything done. And are we really thinking about it almost like a whole experience? So the room is going to be divided into a nice half and a naughty half, and we have performers and DJs, and it's still every day I reinvent the wheel every day. Me, and my co-chair and I, Andy, and we're having a lot of fun with it. But we're really excited to see how it's going to turn out. So
awesome! Well, I can't wait to see how the naughty and nice halves of the rooms turn out. But since you mentioned our location, we are going back to the Trade Mart at the Dallas Market Center. We certainly need to give a shout out to Dallas Market Center, who has been providing pro bono office space to DIFFA Dallas for many, many years. So it's just befitting that we are there this year at the Trade Mart. Any wreath designers that are committed this year that you're excited about?
We have, so many so far. First off, I was lucky enough to see Alan Knight and Associates, him and Siren's wreath, and it's insane. And then also Shar, whose Tattoos by Shar is she owns Golden Dust Tattoos on Lower Greenville. I don't want to give the giveaway of her wreath, but I saw it and my jaw dropped. I was like, who comes up with how are these people in this world so creative? And we've really this year have reached out to a bunch of different artist groups and creative groups, and so we have a whole bunch of one-of-a-kind wreaths I think would be really special. We've also been lucky enough to partner with Ashton Martin this year. So they're going to make, I know, that whole thing. So Ashton Martin is going to give us a couple cars. We're going to have a couple of their cars on display there. They are also making a wreath, and also going to, have a couple of experiences where we could actually auction off the ability to have an Ashton Martin for 24 hours. So that thing could be kind of creative. We have a couple of hosts so far. Zoe Bonnet, who was on our style council last year, who's just a bundle of joy. She's a host. I've wrangled my parents into being hosts as well. And we have a couple ask out as well. So our artist list keeps on growing and growing. Brian Chafin that we talked about. What is JoJo's style council member from a couple years? Jojo Herda from a couple years ago is a professional artist, and she's donated a beautiful painting. Boop Architects.
Last year was one of my favorites. It was a bunch of balls. It was very cool.
It's it was what you see it and you're it's beautiful during the daytime, but at night it lights up and kind of has this sporadic literally made out of beer pong balls, but it's beautiful. So they've also kind of contributed, and so the list keeps kind of growing. So I'm excited.
And there's room for more. So if you would like to get involved with this event and feel like you have, that Martha Stewart gene or that just creative out of the box theme, we would love to have you. So please contact the DIFFA office at 214-748-8580 because we could always use more designers. And as well, if you might be interested in hosting the event, we would love to talk to you about that. But just wanted to get that plug in while it was.
And I also want to put the plug in that I don't know if you said it like 7 times. I'm going to. So the event is November 14th. So it's November 14th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Trade Mart. So there will be valet. Of course, we will have food and drinks and merriment. So we are also accepting wreaths. I mean, granted, I'll be honest with you, I'll accept wreaths 2 hours before the event.
And we have.
We give you an hour.
2 minutes.
I've had people walk in at 7 o'clock and go, here's my wreath. Oh, I need a cocktail. Thank you very much.
But our goal would be to have them about a week before. So November 7th is what I'm telling people. So I'm going to say that. So don't ignore those last 2 seconds at the last second. But November 7th is our goal. But of course, if you are talented or just have love for DIFFA, I've actually started loving the event because my mom and I make wreaths together. And so we literally sit out and on her pool table and we make wreaths for a day or two. And we're able first year we made 1. Last year I think we made 7.
We made so many. Yeah.
This year my mom has flown all her sisters in to have a wreath making event. So so it's like a family event now.
Teresa and I have a group of past board members that we kind of have a supper club with. And a few years we've gotten together and partnered on a wreath.
We've done wreaths, or we've done some sort of arts and crafts just together with some wine and dinner and, make it fun.
I want to make one plug for the date of November 7th. The reason being that one of my duties on the board this year is that I manage our website. So you can actually start bidding on wreaths before wreath happens. So our silent auction is entirely online. You can register on difffadallas.org. The wreath tickets are already on sale. And when you go and register to buy your ticket, you'll be put in your cell phone number and you'll get a text link that says, "Welcome to Wreath Collection 2019. Click here to start bidding." And you click on that, you build out your profile with your credit card. All the wreaths will have a buy it now option. So if you find one you love, do not wait because someone else will take it. But that is a big thing that we started last year, was that we were able to put our auctions on a couple days early. So if you can't make it, it's the week before Thanksgiving, you can still bid and participate. And of course, make a cash donation too if you'd like to. But the wreath tickets are on sale now. They're $50 and we'll have tickets on sale up until the day of. But the big thing is letting people know that you can start bidding. And so we have to get those pictures online so you know what you're bidding on.
I'm going to reinforce that in case y'all missed it. The tickets are only $50 this year, so it's very affordable. And as Megan mentioned earlier, this is one of the events that we try to really, make it affordable and so that anyone can come. Zach also touched on the food and beverage that'll be there. We've got 3 dessert sponsors so far, so I want to give them a quick plug. The guys from Sugar Daddy's Cakery or Bakery are going to be with us this year, and they've been on a couple of TV shows, I think on TLC.
They were on Netflix as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're also making a wreath.
So we're very excited to have them this year as a first-time dessert sponsor. La Madeleine is coming back for year 2. They joined us last year for Megan's Christmas in Paris theme, and they're coming back. And then we also have Norma's Cafe. Their catering director, Lila Levy, who's been a long-time friend of ours and supportive of DIFFA. You can get some of Norma's fantastic holiday pies at the event. So just want to give that little teaser out there to get everybody to come.
Reese, the bubble guy, please, the bubble model.
Okay, no.
You make it happen.
Beautiful models, beautiful people, beautiful
Cars.
Specialty cocktails. It's it's going to be great.
And $50.
Exactly, for $50. And the other thing we're expanding as well to, talking to a lot of, kind of talking to people are like, hey, wreaths aren't my thing, but I have furniture or I have, gift baskets or merchandise, since Dallas is the fitness class capital of the world, we have about working with Class Studios and Soul Cycle and Berries, and they've all donated things. So we're actually kind of expanding to a silent auction. So we're going to have some other items if, bah humbug, Christmas isn't your thing. There's all kinds of beautiful things that we have that, you can come and bid on and just kind of help out.
DIFFA.
Exactly. So.
And being that we're November 14th, we've kind of for years said the DIFFA Holiday Wreath Collection is sort of the unofficial kickoff to the holiday season because we're one of the first holiday parties of the season, and we all know what a holiday party season it is. So come join us on November 14th at the Dallas Trade Mart. Anybody have anything else they want to add that we didn't touch on?
I'm just very excited. Again, from somebody who's seen the evolution, it's awesome. You guys have done a great job, and I'm so proud of the organization and so proud of where this event has gone from the small little tenant party that we started so many years ago to today. Bravo to you guys.
Wow, that's some things I love. DIFFA's 35 this year, and there's so much that's evolved, but so much that the core has stayed the same. And so whether it's events, collection turning into House of DIFFA, things like that over the years. So many people just love participating in DIFFA or being a small part, or like us, being on the board for a couple of years or a decade or whatever it is. We all want to have our little piece because it does really make an impact. Yes.
We become family. I mean, Teresa and I, 25 years ago, met through DIFFA, and we're still best friends. So, and I'd be remiss without mentioning you were the board chair from 2000 to 2001. So
yes, which seems very long ago, but yes, and that's part of my history and part of my heart, and DIFFA will always be with me.
Well, thank you. Glad to have you here today, Zach, Megan. Thank you both for being here. We're looking. Oh, I do want to mention one other thing. People can get a preview of some of the wreaths. Zach, you want to tell them about a media partner?
Yes, we're partnering with Paper City. And so our advertisement comes out early in the November, with the November issue. And then we also are going to start showcasing some of our, all the wreaths are beautiful, but some really special ones on our Instagram page as well as our Facebook page. So you can kind of see just the level of excellence and creativity that people have come up with so far. So, I worry now that there's going to be a buy now option. There's going to be a wreath that I might have to steal a couple. I have an unfair advantage. I'm not really sure.
Year.
Yeah. So I'm just, there's some really, really good ones this year, and they're every day a couple more get turned in. And it's just so exciting. So
wonderful.
It's like Christmas every day.
That struggle has not changed. Trust me.
So
wonderful. Well, that's going to wrap it up for another episode of Impact with DIFFA Dallas. And please join us on November 14th at the Holiday Wreath Collection, 24th annual at the Dallas Trade Mart with Dallas Market Center.
See you at Wreath.
Thank you.